And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
This was the first time the WNBA truly got physical with Caitlin Clark, and it started against a familiar face, her college rival, Angel Reese. Their first meeting on the big stage had every eye in the building watching, and Chicago couldn't wait to make its presence felt, setting off a chain reaction that would ripple through the league. But the game didn't open that way. Caitlin
Great points. Clark connects on a deep three.
and Clark came out firing, and it wasn't just her scoring.
It's two.
To the Commissioner's Cup final. What a dish. Down the floor. Wallace, the finish plus the foul. On a beautiful delivery.
She was setting up her teammates just as easily. The Chicago bench sat in stunned silence.
Understand their impact and what it has done and how they are living out their dreams today.
And right on cue, Clark connects on another bomb. 2 for 2 from 3 in the early.
Entirely to her. After building up a small deficit, though, not everyone on Chicago's side was feeling the same enthusiasm.
They've allowed too much dribble penetration.
Well, and it allows them. Oh, what a dime. My goodness, the pass from Clark to Katie Lou Samuelson for 2. But, Rebecca, that's what allows them.
True to form, Caitlin simply turned it up another gear in the second quarter. For Indiana, it was just another game. For Chicago, it clearly meant more. As things stopped going their way,
Answer defensively.
Gonna have to make something happen. Clark through the lane, reverses it in, and beats the shot clock.
Kennedy Carter especially
the
had
rebound. Mabry running, can't get to it, and Chicago turns it over.
no answer for her defensively. And on the other end, her offense got
It out to Mitchell. Mitchell long 2 is good.
Chicago was
That frustration kept building as Indiana reasserted control in the second quarter, and Chicago could feel the game slipping through their fingers. But when the third quarter arrived, the tone on the floor shifted. Chicago rolled out a new game plan, doubling Caitlin early and showing they weren't intimidated, getting physical.
Yes.
Nice entry, and Wallace again blows the layup. The follow is good.
Physical in the process. Still, Caitlin kept playing her game, even as her own
to give an
teammates.
inch.
Here's Carter, Evans guarding Clark, and Evans sends Clark to the deck. Foul called on Dana Evans.
Occasionally made things harder than they needed to be. When she tried to attack the rim herself,
Chicago had missed their first 8 attempts. Clark races in, is fouled by Cardoso, and Clark gets some pain. Caitlin Clark goes down.
This
Dana
blow
Evans met her without giving an inch. Sending Clark to the floor, a foul was called. On the very next possession, Chicago struck again, this time through Cardoso, whose contact forced Caitlin to take a brief seat on the bench. Cardoso kept playing just as recklessly, banging away in the paint, but it wasn't enough to break the Fever, who held a narrow lead. With about a minute left in the quarter, Caitlin checked back in. Kennedy Carter tried to sneak a quick pass through, but it was careless, and Caitlin read it perfectly, intercepting it with ease. Furious about the turnover, Carter chased her down and physically ripped the ball back. No whistle came, leaving Caitlin waiting for a call that never arrived. Indiana kept the possession alive anyway. Boston's shot rattled off the rim. Her follow-up missed too, and even a third attempt wouldn't fall. In the scramble, 2 Chicago defenders collided,
This time, it's good. Aaliyah
fighting
Boston.
for the loose ball, and Caitlin swooped in, stripping away and feeding it right back to Boston for the score. Carter was clearly rattled, and Caitlin never wanted to back away from a little mental warfare. Had a few words for her, needling the moment. Carter answered on the next trip down, pulling up
there.
Good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter
up for a smooth mid-range jumper and draining it, staring right at Caitlin as she did. But she wasn't finished. The wildest part of it all, the officials barely acknowledged Carter's physicality, calling nothing more than a routine off-ball foul. Once again, She got away with it, while Angel Reese celebrated on the sideline like it was a championship moment. A strange thing to be proud of. It raised an uncomfortable...
Did you get any type of understanding from the officials on how you guys are doing that at this point?
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play.
Question. Was this becoming the new standard for how teams would approach Caitlin? Were opponents testing exactly how far they could push the physicality, betting that the officials would let
And that was 2011.
Melissa Smith stops and misses the
it slide? Through it all, Caitlin stayed above the noise, sticking to her game plan. And
Clark, another rebound, tosses ahead, Wheeler extra feed. Oh, that was pretty. What's the foul?
That her skill would speak louder than any shove. Even when her teammates struggled to keep pace at times, the Fever stayed disciplined, moving the ball, generating good looks, playing smart basketball.
The three takes the two and knocks it down. A lot of contact from Reese on
Basketball. Chicago, on the other hand, seemed to abandon finesse altogether, leaning into pure physicality as if brute force alone
It was a
might be
close
enough to
call.
through. Mabry down two. Mabry loses the handle and a foul is called. A foul is called on Smith and free throws here for the Sky. Number 5 on Smith as she dove to the floor.
Game, and every so often it worked in their favor. In the end, none of the extra contact, missed calls, or simmering tension mattered.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. 6 threes on the night.
Only the final score did, though a late scare from Alyssa Smith almost cost Indiana the win. When the dust settled, the Fever had it, and this game had unleashed something toxic in the league. Caitlin Clark,
For 29 points, gets tripped up.
Clark versus Angel Reese was no longer up for debate. Clark posted a career-high scoring night to go with 12 assists, while her rival
To be more aggressive offensively.
faded into background. She wasn't just breaking rookie records. She was
Fear in their
rewriting the all.
hearts.
She has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for 3, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
Time books, even as Chicago tried channeling their inner enforcer to slow her
Will be really important for both of these teams. Allen once again goes back to back.
down. Right from the opening tip, Caitlin came out aggressive.
Flame burn
Immediately
out.
Allen baseline look. The last 3 buckets from
spotting
Lindsay
the
Allen.
smash and
Even with
attacking it.
Caitlin's
With Chicago hanging around, she knew she needed to instill even more doubt in them.
Taken all night.
Caitlin Clark, a dribbling exhibition, finds Boston, double team, all kinds of contact.
Angel Reese, though, had other ideas,
Way through, what a pass and a finish. Nice catch there from Angel Reese.
determined to protect Chicago's lead, and her teammate Allen was locked in, refusing to let her
WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebounds.
hot
Sky
streak
answered-
cool off. Even with Caitlin orchestrating perfect
Was you. What does it mean to have those comparisons?
positioning for Aaliyah Boston to disrupt the run, it didn't shake Chicago's plan. Reese made sure that,
I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing the game by
to counter
stretching
Angel.
the advantage into double digits. The Fever needed a spark to climb out of the hole, and naturally, it came from Caitlin. But
They're
Chicago
looking for Reese. Fagbenle tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark rips a pass, thread the needle. My goodness, what a play!
In this
answered
ship.
right back, giving Indiana no room to breathe. Down significantly, Caitlin knew the response had to be immediate. Indiana made the smart move, bringing in defensive anchor Temi Fagbenle, and the shift was instant. A deflection here,
Caitlin Clark against Dana Evans. 3 on the quarter clock. Fagbenle misses everything.
stop
And
there,
this would not-
and the deficit began to shrink. As they clawed their way back before the first quarter buzzer,
Would
a golden
Find about when she would return. Turnover on the first possession, and the Fever ended the first quarter on a 12-2 run and tried to build.
chance to tie the game presented itself. It became clear, though, that Fagbenle's offensive game had limits.
Needed to start
Pattern-
cooking.
On this possession, Loco shot! Loco make for Clark!
Her defense was undeniable, but her scoring wasn't, and Angel Reese's own missed layup
To be her kryptonite.
This turn. Spinning off her left shoulder and walked with it.
Rising star every opening she needed to heat up. Even as Reese flashed her full arsenal.
The end of the first quarter, Clark again. Heating up.
Heating up.
Moves. The Fever's defense.
Penley with a huge block. An absolute wall at the rim leads to that.
Trouble that neutralized her. That gave Caitlin the room she needed to put on a shooting clinic of her own. Catching fire and showcasing.
She's having the best three-point shooting season of her career, but she can also bang in the paint.
Vision never let up either. She kept feeding her psychic open looks, sparking
5 of 10 right now from behind the arc.
Speaking of, a long shot.
The psychic was never going to outshine the star.
Winding down, nearly a shot clock violation for the Sky. Caitlin Clark leaks out, can't get to it.
The Fever pushed
She barely seemed to notice the pressure, driving without even glancing at the rim and silencing the crowd anyway.
Stays with it, that's that strength that you admire so much, and finds
And unfortunately for Chicago, she was excellent at it. As the second quarter wound down, Angel Reese stepped
Chicago's crowd.
To find a way to get Rachel Banham going, that's one way.
Count the packets. Caitlin Clark has an and one.
And
right where the second left off, with the Fever shooters taking over.
for Infinity
Chicago
Stones.
He's got 14 in the game. Clark.
Hey guys, now right here I was just honestly confused on if I had to take the ball back or I could just lay it up. I had got my head a little bit too much. It was really extremely hot this day, by the way, everybody. Almost 100 degrees again.
To Hull.
And
Everything felt possible.
Hobby.
Clark tried that difficult pass.
With the second quarter,
Caitlin wasn't trying to do it alone. Recognizing the moment, she leaned on her teammates to close things out.
Reese along two. Trills it.
Forcing the issue herself with Chicago.
Slap.
Shuffle pass to Allen, who looks for Reese again, but Wheeler's in the way, and the Fever leak out. Caitlin Clark, a layup drill for her.
ending the quarter with
rendering open looks left and right. There was little left for her to worry about, except one defender who refused to let the game slip away.
taking
quietly.
over.
With the rip.
Kelsey Mitchell. 8 assists, 15 points in the first half. Looking to add to her tally. Ooh.
The Sky threw every
of her mind. Caitlin made a calculated choice. Rather than stay in the thick of the fifth.
Ball screen to create a shot for herself.
Clark with the step back and gets fouled. 3.
Caitlin Clark.
She started directing traffic like a coach on the floor. Not every piece fit perfectly, but the ones that did made her look like a mastermind. Fagbeno, meanwhile, kept locking things down defensively, turning the paint into a wall Chicago couldn't crack.
Did happen.
Onyenwere drills a three-pointer.
But Caitlin Clark.
It became obvious her impact was mostly one-dimensional. Luckily for Indiana, their cushion heading into the fourth quarter was
Finished the
comfortable enough
job.
that
Personals, Diamond DeShields has checked in, trying to defend Caitlin Clark. Smith, 1-foot runner.
the offense barely needed to force anything. With a lead like that, Caitlin could easily have coasted.
Clark to fear.
Instead,
Worthwhile to see the reactions of these Fever players getting to meet those two stars.
she wanted more. She buried 6 threes on the night, fully in rhythm, and with the game essentially.
Inside 2 minutes left in the third, Caitlin Clark has checked back in.
With the threat of injury.
She allowed herself to have a little fun, showing off some flashy ball handling. That fun ended the moment Chicago's toughest defender checked back in. Even so, it had already
Fagbenle.
been enough of a night. 31 points, 12
Master.
To be a guard, but so effective in the paint. And Boston tonight, they've had to work to get to the 9. 38%, but
It was
fifth game of
obvious
the
that
season with at least 20 points and 10 assists, a new single-season record. It stood as one of the most intense battles she'd faced all year. After enduring constant physicality across the league, this matchup against her biggest rival was always going to be a serious
Brick
test.
Pony.
back to Fagbenle. It's her. Fagbenle, no. Boston, another rebound. Over to Teme, blocked by Cardone.
It delivered even more than expected. She opened hot, blowing past Marina Mabry and attacking the rim for the game's first points.
Didn't need help.
Chicago
Hole in the corner. She's got the last 6 for the Fever.
adjusted quickly, switching Kennedy Carter onto her, a familiar matchup, though not a pleasant one. As soon as
Agree for
Carter
more.
locked in,
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. 6 threes on the night.
With 6 threes on the
foul followed almost immediately. On the next trip, Carter applied pressure again, but Caitlin found Boston to bail her out. That's how dominant she'd been.
Eyes up, always looking at the clip behind the back pass. Turnover.
But with the black air
While Angel struggled to find the range, Caitlin kept working, using a well-timed
Here's Clark for 29 points, gets tripped up.
this would have been enough for Caitlin
screen to create just enough space to let it fly. It shaped up to be a genuine battle. When Chicago put Mabry back on her, hoping to change the defensive picture, it didn't take long to realize the mismatch was unsolvable no matter who they threw at her. On the other end, Caitlin wasn't lacking either, using her quick hands to force a turnover. She was doing it the clean way, but Chicago wasn't interested in staying on that level. Once it became clear they couldn't match her skill,
we could have
they
expected.
leaned
Last season. Clark, hammer. 3 Sky players coming over.
attacked instead. A clear sign of frustration, trying to slow her down by any means necessary. The physical toll started to build, but Caitlin refused to engage on those terms, choosing instead to avoid unnecessary contact and rely on her vision to find teammates.
Reminded of just that.
This is a Fever team that opened up 11 games in the first 20 days.
She read the defense like an open book, using her teammates almost like shields to navigate the chaos.
Could bail
She
her
remained
out.
Of the league. That's how good Angel Reese has been. Boston gets another touch. It blows past the Sky defense.
Constant problem for Chicago all game. Even with the entire defense keying in on her, no combination of defenders could truly
Fly.
Find a body on Reese. Clark gets freed up from up top.
The second half played out the same way. In transition, she was the engine driving everything, with her teammates trailing behind. But every time she attacked the rim, the same physical resistance was waiting. So the next time, she adjusted, driving hard to collapse the defense, then
Forced the
pulling back for
turnover.
Allen between the legs. Lost it. It's off Allen last.
step back 3 instead of forcing contact at the rim. Even against a set defense with numbers in her favor, she thrived in the disorder. When Chicago packed a lane to cut off driving lanes, Caitlin didn't hesitate. She wove through traffic and still found a way to finish. But when she tried to attack again, Angel Reese, clearly at her breaking point, wasn't having it. She let her frustration boil over.
Her
and
teammates
hit her hard.
instead.
And she post feeds Aaliyah Boston. They're building their chemistry.
Unnecessary foul that stunned the crowd. The tension between the two had been simmering the entire game.
Finds some space. Goes reverse style. Her first bucket since 5:51 in the first.
See how she maintained her.
She was a
Reese didn't
constant
let up either, going after her again on the very next play. After back-to-back fouls, Chicago had no choice but to pull her from the game, which almost seemed like a relief given how much target practice she'd absorbed. Rather than gloat, Caitlin simply refocused and moved on. When the fourth quarter began,
hard
Angel
contact
Reese
again.
returned.
And Carter.
So the next time, Caitlin was 2 steps ahead. A hard dribble to the basket, causing the defenders to collapse. But instead of finishing at the rim, she pulled back and hit them with a step-back 3. Even in transition, with an even number of defenders waiting for her, Caitlin still found a way. It didn't matter if the defense was set.
Looking to relaunch her aggression.
Enabling them to run the basketball. Multiple players here touching the ball.
When the Sky
But Indiana had an answer ready. Caitlin immediately flipped defense into offense, delivering a perfect pass to Aaliyah Boston for an easy finish at the rim. It was a genuine turning point, with Caitlin making an
Wasn't
impact on
having
both
it.
ends.
Hammer. 3 Sky players coming over.
And I'm telling you, the official is.
she let her
The defensive
emotions
stop followed by the assist kept Indiana's rhythm intact, giving them exactly the response they needed to Chicago's renewed physicality. And Caitlin was the one setting the tone. She continued building the lead, and her sheer consistency made it obvious the momentum wasn't turning back. She stayed in complete control, running the offense and keeping constant pressure on Chicago's defense. With 30 seconds remaining, she delivered the finishing touch, a pinpoint pass that sliced the defense to find a wide-open teammate and seal it. Caitlin finished the night with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. Yet another.
And see, that's what you're going to see happen. The money pass.
But when the fourth quarter
complete performance. Year 2 had barely begun, and already the WNBA delivered another must-watch clash. Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese, a rivalry that never fails to draw a crowd, and this edition didn't disappoint. A triple-double shattered records, and a gap in skill level that
blocks in her WNBA career, and it ends with a Boston bucket.
It was a momentum shift.
Increasingly resembled a canyon. Caitlin didn't just show up, she made a statement. From the opening possession, she wasn't backing down, welcoming contact and drawing whistles. After calmly sinking her free throws, Angel Reese got to work on the other end, though her trash talk was quickly silenced.
Clark pulls, fires, hits, 4-3.
A leader to her left.
Caitlin built up a solid.
Reese missed a 3. Caitlin answered but came up just short herself, and Reese's next drive to the rim got denied. Caitlin pushed in transition, but her layup rolled out, so she adjusted, starting to distribute instead. Though it was becoming clear her teammates weren't quite ready for passes on that level yet.
Someone forgot about Smith!
Caitlin
Defense,
Clark,
at least, was enough to keep Reese's drives in check, but real separation would require her teammates finishing what she was creating. Lexi Hull picked up on that first. As Reese began knocking down threes of her own, Caitlin recognized she needed to raise her level again, and she did exactly that. Reese, frustrated, shoved Boston
didn't
in the face,
disappoint.
A 3. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark.
A triple-double.
The chemistry between them, but it didn't slow Caitlin down at all. If anything, the connection between her and Boston only looked more.
Here's Clark firing and hitting. 20 points.
And from the jump, Caitlin
A few of her early shot attempts were a bit ambitious.
got the whistle.
Here's Clark working through some contact. Clark diving in, gets the whistle.
And after
Break,
calmly
she
knocking,
occasionally asked more of her veterans than they could deliver right away.
Play with so much pace. It's where Caitlin Clark excelled a season ago.
Angel Reese dives in and finishes through the contact.
but her trash talking her
It didn't take long before she gave the crowd the moment they'd shown up for. Indiana entered the second half up 13 with plenty left to give, and they wasted no time extending that. Caitlin was operating with her entire playmaking toolkit on display. A missed layup was cleaned up by Boston, who stayed locked in defensively, stripping the ball away on the other end. Caitlin had taken
barges in and gets denied by Boston.
Then
full command,
Caitlin
methodically growing the lead. The game had been intense but relatively controlled until the third quarter.
It's conditioning.
Maybe the broadcasters as well. Here's Howard, gets the whistle off a pretty dime from Clark.
but it was
When
starting to
Chicago missed
become
a 3 and Reese shoved Howard going for the rebound. No call.
On the offensive glass, but Howard comes away with it. Here is Clark. Clark feeding Boston, who can't finish. Lexi Hull comes in, grabs the rebound. She said, well, I know you guys love it. Oh, what a pass from Clark. But
luckily
Caitlin
her
tried to stop the ensuing break with a hard foul, and Reese took it personally. Upon review, officials ruled that Caitlin had shoved Reese back after
Hull
the whistle.
got that message.
to Hull, here's Clark in transition. Clark, oh, what a look. And Hull lays it in.
But
resulting in a flagrant call. Afterward, both sides
Reese will fire the 3 and hit from downtown. Angel
Caitlin
downplayed it as a routine foul, but realistically,
she
that
did.
tension had been
hitting Boston. Boston fakes and lays it in. There's that two-player chemistry.
But Reese
building
wasn't
for a
having
while,
it.
and this exchange finally lit the fuse. Caitlin came out swinging afterward, closing in on 14 points.
The offense
7
flowing.
rebounds.
Her passing and the way that makes her a threat from so many different places on the floor. Clark, little mid-range is good. Boston gives it back. Clark to Boston. Her jumper is good.
The chemistry between
and 7
Caitlin
assists, and you could sense something big brewing with her teammates finally.
Angel Reese is a very good passer.
Clark.
some of those
running
shots were
alongside her in transition. Everything started clicking more naturally. when she grabbed
The fling ahead.
the final rebound. The game was locked up. One glance
They
at the
came
final
to see.
score.
Here's Clark, 4 seconds left. Clark fires. You bet! Clark drills the three to end the second.
The Fever entered the second,
Chicago never had a real chance. Indiana looks like a legitimate powerhouse.
putting it
this
to
season.
use.
Fifth. Here's Clark spinning. Bouncing, what a find! And Howard lays it in on a delectable dime from Caitlin Clark.
And if this is the pace they're setting the rest of the WNBA,
Arsenal on display.
Nurse short on a three. Clark her 6th rebound. Here's Clark in transition. Nice find.
and take notice. Make sure to like, comment,
Boston
and
was locked
subscribe.
in.
Especially adjusted to a new team. Here's Boston. Fakes the jumper, rumbles inside, and drops it in.
For more breakdowns all season long.
All in the hoop.
See
Really well against the bigger Cardoso.
Reese spinning, couldn't pop it in. The O board, no. Another chance stripped away by Clark.